guys, welcome back to my channel. This video, I wanted to sit down and do my makeup, but I wanted to sit down and focus on my go-to Holy Grail product. So when I sit down and do my makeup, I usually start with my eyes first, and I have several eyeshadow palettes that I absolutely love so much. But the two that I wanted to focus on using today is my Disney Masquerade palette and my Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette. Now, whether it's for everyday or if I'm getting ready for a more special occasion, I do like to use my e.l.f. concealer. This is a 16-hour camo concealer. This just really helps to prep the eyelids for eyeshadow. It's very pigmented, and so it just erases all of those veins and discoloration that I have on my eyelids, but at the same time it dries down to like a powdery finish, which is really nice for when you want to go over it with eyeshadow. Alright, so I'm going to start off in the Tati Beauty palette, and I'm going to reach into Soothe Matte right here, and this is just going to be used as a transition shade. Alright, so I'm going to switch palettes here, and I'm going to go into this shade right here called Damsel. Just going to go right into the outer crease. Then once I lose product, I am going to kind of bring it in and blend it with the first shade. Now I'm going to go into Quasimodo, and I'm going to use this for the outer corner, kind of keeping it close to the lash line. And as I lose product, I'm going to kind of bring that up. Going back into the Tati Beauty palette, I am going to be using the metallic in Aurora. I'm just going to be pressing that onto the eyelid. And then just to match the darkness that we have on the outside, I am going to be taking a little bit of metallic in Ritual. Like that, right where the darker shade in Quasimodo meet and the Aurora shade meet. Now I'm just going to take a brush and kind of blend those edges together so we don't have such harsh edges. So for primer, I don't really have a go-to primer. I really only have 3 primers. So the Physicians Formula Soft Light Illuminating Primer. I like using this primer because it just gives me a really nice glow to my skin. You can see that just kind of illuminates my skin a little bit more. I'm also going to be taking the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer for around my nose to fill in those pores. Alright, so the one foundation that I always, no matter what, can count on is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I love this foundation so much. I think I like it because it gives a really nice, healthy finish to my skin, which is what I look for in foundation. So I'm just going to kind of blend this out using my Real Techniques buffing brush or foundation brush. I'm just going to take my sponge and blend the rest of it out. When it comes to concealers, there are 2 concealers that I stand by 100% that I can't live without. The Laura Mercier Flawless Choose Concealer. I love this concealer so much. It doesn't crease on me. It's foolproof. I am in the shade 1C, so it has a little bit more of a pink undertone. I like that because it helps to kind of brighten the under eyes. One is the Revolution to Conceal and Define concealer. This concealer is the same thing. It doesn't crease on me. It's absolutely foolproof. This one has a little bit more coverage, I feel, than the Laura Mercier one. This is drugstore price and this is high end, but I love these both. You know, they both give me similar results, but they both have different price ranges in them, so you can you know choose which one you like, but I love them both. So obviously the one that's more higher end I use for more special occasions. For everyday and even with special occasions, I do use the Revolution one as well. I'm going to mix the 2 today. Apply a couple stripes. So you can see these both kind of have different undertones. One's more neutral and one has a pink undertone. I like to mix the 2 together. And then just using the Revolution concealer, I am going to go down the center of the face to kind of highlight a little bit and around the nose. I do also do this with the Laura Mercier concealer if I'm just using that one. But since I'm using both, I'm just going to use this concealer for the center of my face. Alright, so before I go in and set my face with powder, I do like to use the Mario Badescu facial spray. I love this just to kind of sink all the foundation and the concealer all together before I go ahead and set it. So I like to take my sponge and kind of just press everything in. I love this facial spray because it just really helps my skin kind of feel a little bit more awake and prepped. And it just kind of melts all the products that you've already put on your face, melt them together. You can even just spray this before you go in with your foundation. But I kind of like to do it in the middle of me doing my makeup so that way I can continue to bring that life back to the skin. Face powders, there's one powder that I love. It is from Artistry, is their Exact Fit Perfecting Loose Powder. I like this powder because it just really is very finely milled. It just sinks into the skin. I really love this powder for that. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush. Ooh. And I like to just kind of press it into the skin. Go in with a smaller brush with a very little powder on it, like barely any powder, to set the under eyes because I have a lot of texture under my eyes and I don't want to emphasize that with adding a whole bunch of powder. But I do like to set the concealer. It doesn't crease on me, but I don't want it to fade away, so that's why I'm setting it. And then with my sponge, I do like to go in and set the nose. Alright, so there's the powder, and I really do like this powder because it just melts into the skin and it doesn't look powdery on me at all. It just helps to set everything, but then it really sinks into the skin so it doesn't make my face look powdery or cakey. Alright, so for bronzer, the bronzer that I was going to use today, I cannot find it. It is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer. Hands down, one of the best bronzers I have ever used, drugstore wise and high-end. When it comes to something that's just foolproof and that I can trust to get the job done every single time, it is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer. I can't find it, however, because it's probably running around somewhere in my bathroom because I use it so much. So the one that I'm going to be using today is the Milani Silky Matte Sunlight bronzer. We're going to go in with this to warm up the face. I was going to pick one bronzer to use. It would be the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer. I just can always trust that bronzer to do exactly what I want it to do. And one thing that I like about that bronzer, it is kind of in between a warm tone and a cool tone, and so it's perfect for getting those contouring and bronzing sculpt effects, which I really love. I'm actually going to go ahead and wipe this bake away. Sides of the nose with the bronzer. So when it comes to blushes, I'm still on the hunt for the perfect blush, but ones that I do reach for on a everything basis is the Essence Satin Touch blush. Are very pigmented, but they just glide onto the skin so effortlessly and they just are perfect. I have two shades here. I have the Satin Love, which is more of a mauve pink, and then I have the Satin Coral, which is a corally peach shade. I'm gonna go in with the Satin Coral. I just feel like that's just gonna look really good with the look that we're going for today. I love these blushes is because they have a satin sheen to them, so they're not going to look matte and they're not gonna look shiny either. They're just gonna have a nice little sheen to it. When it comes to highlighters, I can't just pick one highlighter. I like a different range of highlighters, whether I'm going for a more subtle highlight or I want a really big blingy smack in the face highlighter. I can't really choose, but one that I absolutely love so much, and it's affordable as well, is the e.l.f. and Nabela Noor highlighter. I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and it's just going to give me a really nice, you know, pop. It's not subtle, obviously, but you can kind of keep blending it in to get a little bit more of a subtle effect. It works on so many different skin tones, but what I love about it is that it just has that nice kind of goldy undertone. So it's not just going to be shiny and giving you luminous. It's going to give you a little bit something more, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I really do love this highlighter. And then again, like I said, you can just kind of keep blending it in to kind of sheer it out if you want. Now I'm going to go into Metallic Aurora. And I'm just going to use this to highlight the inner corners. I don't wear eyeliner on an everyday basis, but the one that I really, really love, that's hands down the best, absolute best to wear for the rest of my life, is the Maybelline EyeStudio Gel Liner. This is the best gel liner in period that I've ever used before. I hear so many other makeup artists and makeup YouTubers talk about this product because it is so good. The things that I love about this product is that it glides on so smooth and so well, and it's pretty foolproof, which is what I really like. Another thing that I like about this, I'm going to talk while I apply this to my eyes, if I can do that. I've seen so many eyeliners being compared to this specific eyeliner, and this one is truly black. You know how sometimes you can get products that are more charcoal or they have a little bit more gray in it, and this one's truly is just black. I love this product so much. So both eyes are done with eyeliner. It probably took me maybe a minute to 2 minutes to do both eyes. Super easy, super foolproof. All right, so when it comes to mascaras, you guys probably already know what I'm going to say. It is the L'Oreal Unlimited mascara. Mascara just amazes me every single time I wear it. I've tried it up against high-end products and nothing has compared to this thus far. It built on itself so well. It looks like I'm wearing false lashes. This is probably my 4th bottle of this mascara. I just love this mascara so much. It never fails me. It's gorgeous, and I hope that I will never find another mascara that's going to beat this mascara, because this is drugstore, so it's pretty cheap for a really good mascara. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on. When it comes to brow products, I have fallen in love with this product. It is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This one just every time just gives me really nice, good, full brows. I have in the shade 3.5. When I was first picking up this product for the very first time, there were like 3 or 4 shades that I wasn't sure which one to choose. And so I asked the lady to help me. And she's like, okay, well, you should go for this one. And I was like, okay, I do like more natural looking brows. And she's like, oh, so you're probably gonna want like a 3 or a 3.5. She went all the way up to like a 5 when I had asked her for help, and then she went down to like a 3.5. It's really funny to like see how she sees makeup and how she sees like people doing their eyebrows versus the way I do my eyebrows. So it was just kind of funny that I went from a 5 to 3.5 from my preference versus her preference. So I just thought that was a really funny story. So whenever I look at the shade of what I'm using, I always go back to that memory because I think it's super funny. Last but not least is lips. I am going to be using the NYX Butter Gloss in Tiramisu, specifically this color, because I feel like it doesn't matter what kind of makeup look I'm wearing, I feel like this shade just does it for me. I feel like this is pretty similar to my lip color, but just a little bit more just intense, I guess. I don't really know. I love this because it's a gloss, and that's what I usually typically like to use is glosses on my lips, but it has enough color in it that it just works every single time, and I loved that so much. Last but not least is setting spray. I'm using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I really love this product so much. I love the spray on it. I love that it sets my makeup in place, but I like that it doesn't like mattify my face. It just helps everything to sit in place all day, which is something that I like. I don't tend to like using products that are like mattifying or controls oil. Specifically for me, I just feel like it doesn't work well in my skin tone. I tend to produce more oil using those kind of products. All right, that is it for my Holy Grail products. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was kind of a favorites, but these are just products that doesn't matter the time of the year or the event or anything like that. These are products that I go to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. See you guys in my next video. Bye.